Hey guys, and welcome back to IEM Katowice. My name is Freddie Orgamirana, and I'm joined by EliGE after they have sadly been knocked out and their run and the whole of America has ended in the semi-finals. Firstly, how are you doing? What are your overall thoughts about the tournament?
Overall thoughts was that we had actually a pretty good tournament run.
Yeah.
I think that we exceeded expectations from us and from the fans. So that was really good. We were able to make it through the group of death. We were able to beat some really heavy hitter teams. And considering the start of the year where we spread ourselves really thin with our map pool, we didn't have enough practice going into Blast, really short turnaround time between Blast and Katowice, and for us to go as far as we did, beating the teams that we did in the manner, super happy about it.
Yeah, because you just mentioned there not enough time to practice. You guys haven't boot camped, right?
Not really, honestly.
And so has that affected you guys that much?
I think it did, yeah. We pretty much were taking Blast as the boot camp, because just how the timing of everything worked out, we were just gonna take Blast as the boot camp, but that was pretty much how it went. So Blast was the boot camp for Katowice.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure that we were really prepared for this tournament specifically.
Okay, so then looking future at the other tournaments, how are you going to prepare? Are you staying in Europe for a bit, or are you going off to America?
Well, we have about a month in between here and Group D.
Yeah.
So we would be gone for about 2 months straight if we stayed.
Yeah.
We've already been gone for a month straight. So we're planning to go home and then take a couple days off, go back to practice, and then before EPL have a little boot camp before then. And yeah, overall we just need to really work on our map pool, and that's going to be the goal for us going to EPL.
I guess looking at that map pool, Anubis, yesterday it looked like a map you're normally quite good at. What happened against G2? It felt like it did fall apart a little bit.
Yeah, I think that we kind of just ran out of steam for this tournament. I think that we came in super hot. We kept progressing as we continued on the tournament, and we had a really good individual level as well. But I feel against G2 we kind of fell flat a little bit. I think that it was super winnable. There was a lot of advantageous situations that we had. We had a really good chance to do more in that series. So it's really unfortunate, but considering how the whole tournament went, we can't beat ourselves up too much about it.
It's just probably still happy about it, how it all went.
Yeah. Of course, we're not happy that we lost or anything. We wanted to win, but it was a frustrating loss. There was a lot of winnable situations, but taking the tournament as a whole, it was a positive tournament for us.
Looking at then, so you were saying you kind of burnt out a little bit. Does the crowd play into that a little bit? Because yesterday, when I was in the Rich Stadium, it's I was next to Daft Mike, and I think he was potentially the only one in a liquid jersey in the whole arena. Did that play at all? Because the whole arena was the whole time shouting G2. Was that could you guys feel that?
Honestly, my earbuds have noise canceling on them.
So you're just
and then the headset has noise canceling on it too. I honestly don't really hear them at all. So it didn't really affect me, and honestly I don't really mind that stuff. If the crowd is for or against, it doesn't really matter. If it's for, then it gives positive energy for sure. But if not, it's not the end of the world or anything. I don't think it affected us too much. I think it was just I don't know. It was just how the games went.
Yeah, and then so you mentioned there about personal the players doing well in this tournament. I think OC is definitely a key figure who's really stepped up in this tournament.
Yeah.
How have you guys developed him, and why do you think, and especially on a map like Anubis now coming in, how are you guys looking to utilize him more?
Well, for Josh, it's pretty much him having to find the confidence within himself, because he has a really good mechanical ability. He's a really smart player. He knows how to really break down the game and figure things out for what he wants to do. And it's not he's leashed or chained or anything like that. He just has to be able to find that within himself. And this tournament he did a super good job at that. I'm super happy for how he did in this tournament. His rifles were also really good too. And he I feel he kind of beats himself up a little bit too much, and then it kind of gets more into his head. And he's shown this tournament that he was able to move past that, had a lot of really good series, so really good tournament from him.
That's really good to hear, actually. And then, so looking at you individually, you changed some roles when Yakinda came in, especially on the T side, but you have been getting some of them back, and I think it's clear that you're starting to improve and get back to your old form on the T side. Are you just getting more comfortable in some of your old roles, or have you got back the large majority? Comfortable in your new roles, or have you got back some of your old roles, and has that helped?
It kind of depends on the map. Overpass, I swapped a couple different roles, but I'm back at my same spot, so I'm pretty comfortable on Overpass. I'd say I'm only uncomfortable on 2 maps pretty much right now, and it kind of just depends. some of the roles, like I'm not getting like a ton of opportunity.
Yeah.
Like for example, like on Inferno, like I watch back like the phase games, and you know, if like Banana is like doing super well, then like we're just winning the round like off of like them entering and like them owning them. Or if it doesn't go well, then I kind of just like am in like a really hard situation.
Because you can't do anything, I guess, right?
Yeah, like there's just like situations that's just kind of happening through the games. So for me, like the biggest thing that I've been doing is just making sure that I'm crossing off like as many mistakes as I can, not making as many mistakes, because that's kind of like how originally like in 2018, 2019, that's how like I was able to like play at a really consistent level, because the less mistakes that you make, the better that you're going to be doing more consistently. And like maybe I won't have like a super like high amount of like pop-off games, but there's nothing that I can do to control that, you know? Like, if I'm not, like, popping off, like, I have to, like, look at myself and just be like, well, what was in my control, like, this game? Did I have opportunities? Did I squander those opportunities? And that's, like, how I'm, like, looking at those things. Like, was I able to, like, get the opportunities that I had? And Merrick's has like been doing like a really helpful job with me. Like if I'm ever like struggling with things, he's always like willing to like watch the games back with me and like say like, oh, I could have done this, could have done that, or I didn't really have any opportunity here, didn't have any opportunity there. And after the phase game, I was really frustrated with myself because I was, statistically I didn't like do well, but I didn't feel like I did bad. But so I didn't feel like I did bad. I was like, Merrick, you want to watch these games back with me? And he watched all three of the maps with me, and like that gave me a lot of confidence. Coming into the next day against Vitality, that I didn't actually make that many mistakes, and the ones that I did, I could have had some more opportunity there. So it's like a really like confident feeling when it's just it could look bad, but if there wasn't that much that I could have done, then it is what it is. And whatever I could have done, I can do it better. And I was able to figure out those things, come into Vitality feeling really good, and I think that like helped a lot.
So would it be fair to say you've kind of shifted your mentality, like how you play the game has changed a little bit? Is that fair to say?
I would more say that in 2021 and the beginning, or 2022. Yeah, the beginning of last year, I feel like I just like shifted away from what worked for me.
Yeah.
Like when we, had like Shocks come in, that lineup specifically, I feel like I shied away from like what worked for me in the past. And then when Merrick's came in, so I was like unlearning things that works for me. Which was really bad. But that was just like how things went. And when Merrick's came back in, he has a really similar process to me of just like looking back at the games and making sure that like you're minimizing mistakes and like seeing all the opportunities. And I started working with like my sports psychologist again, and just getting back into that flow of progress that worked so well for me in the past. And it was really difficult to try to get back to like that form that I had from in the past, because there was so much unlearning that happened. So
you almost had to restart it all again.
Yeah, exactly. And when Merrick's came in, that was like the beginning for me. And I started off really well at Cologne, like did well, but that wasn't something that was going to be like consistent for me. And obviously I was like uncomfortable in some of the roles, and like eventually like we were able to like make a system that made everyone feel a lot more comfortable. So I think like as a team, we did a really good job at making sure everyone's more comfortable, me included in that. And just like bringing that process, I think is the biggest thing. And I'm really happy this tournament I was able to like play a lot better like on an individual level. Like I was able to have like higher highs and like kind of more like medium lows. And now it's time for me to like just like get those lows a little bit higher. And now I've shown that I can like have like a higher high. So I'm happy about that.
Oh, that sounds perfect then. And then so you were saying about just like getting a little bit more comfortable. Is that when this break and the month between Group D, when you have ability to boot camp, is that when you guys are looking to refine that?
Yeah, exactly. I think the main thing for us is just going to be expanding our map pool. Because right now this tournament, our whole thing that we came into, and we knowingly came into Katowice knowing like we need to win our map pool. We need to win our map pick, because of just like how spread thin we were. We knew that like if a team played Nuke and Vertigo, we're kind of going to be screwed on like that game, and we're probably going to lose because we just don't have enough experience on it, and it's going to be tough. So that's going to be the main thing as a team that we're going to be working on. And then just me individually, I'm just going to be trying to make sure that I'm doing my whole process, watch back all the games, make sure that I'm minimizing as many mistakes as I can, seeing which opportunities could have presented themselves in the areas that they could have, and that's it. That's the plan.
That sounds perfect. And then final question: that comeback against Vitality. So I was like, how did that feel? Like I remember seeing on HLTV, it was a 0% probability of you guys coming back, and even watching it there, I think like everyone kind of gave up hope, and it was like, oh my god, out of nowhere, bang, right back into it. Like, how did that feel?
It felt awesome. That was probably like one of like the best comebacks of my career. Maybe the best one. I honestly don't even. I'd have to see like the stats, but I feel like it was the best. I feel like there's no way that I've ever came back from something as crazy as that, and it felt really good. I think that like mentality-wise, we stuck in it really well. Like we were really focused on the present, and I think that was like what kept us in it. Like we were just focusing on keeping each round as they were, making sure that we're not thinking about like anything else. And yeah, we did like a really good job. We had great reads the whole entire game, really good individuals stepping up. We weren't really making that many mistakes. We knew what was happening the entire time. Like it was like everything that just like came together, and it was like an incredible game to play.
Is there one person that keeps you like kind of focused on that team? You're saying like you're always just looking at the next round. Like, is there one person that's very good at that?
I think that Merrick's does a really good job. Like Daps does a really good job. Nick does a really good job. Like those they're like the three people that are going to be like keeping us all into the game like as much as possible. Like me, Josh, and Keith are a lot more quieter. Like we're quieter guys. So I think they did a really good job, and we all stayed really into it.
Oh, well, that's I think the perfect way to end it. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for joining me. Big pleasure.
Thank you.
Hope you have a good day and the rest of the weekend, and make sure to keep on and looking at the YouTube for all the content that'll be coming up.